What's up, Mesa Falcons? Today's episode of the CovertGoPodcast is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com. Use the promo code CGBPod to show that you enjoy this type of content at checkout at CoolStuffInc.com. Now let's dive into it. Hi. Okay.
Is this another welcome to the CGB podcast where we're podcasting and we're sponsored by coolstuff.inc.com.
Yeah, I was gonna record that separate, but I mean, if you want to do my work for me, like, by all means. Hi, Raren.
Hi.
Raren.
Hi.
Raren, pay attention.
I'm looking.
Raren's trying to pre-order a Nintendo Switch. He's very distracted.
If anyone got one,
how's it going over there?
If anyone got one, could you please DM me immediately? I'm a famous streamer.
So what we're going to try to do, if we can tear his eyes away from the Nintendo Switch pre-orders, is you are going to try to help us unban cards from Commander. You see, there was a big announcement this week. Yes.
Wait.
Commander.
Pause. Last 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something along those lines, you said to me that a card might get banned in Magic Arena for mono red. Has that happened?
What?
You said
no.
You said something in the store.
No.
Kind of like.
Oh yeah, the monstrous rage thing. No. That's true. We haven't talked since then. Raren in Arena, in Standard. Oh my God, the big news. You missed it, Raren. The big news was the ban announcement came out, and for Standard, no changes.
Wow. And how are you feeling with that?
I know.
Are you okay?
Yeah, thank you for checking. It might explain why you didn't hear from me for a week or two.
Oh.
I went into a cave of solitude and just tried to cope with this.
Really? Okay, so that's interesting. Did they give any information why they didn't want to change anything?
They think the format is very healthy. They did release several words about it, and they think that's, quote, I think the funny quote is Standard is flourishing. So there's that. Oh. We're flourishing here. We're flourishing.
So here's
Standard.
the thing. They have the data, right? They're the ones with the data.
Yeah.
So it is completely possible that like your angle of being a content creator and trying to have fun is just incorrect, and everyone else really likes it, and mono red is for the people, and you're just salty about it for literally no reason.
No reason. Yeah, that's exactly right. Why? It's the most played deck in the format for like 6 years.
True.
Is that fine? What if? Okay, has there ever been a period in Hearthstone where one Druid deck was like the best for 6 years? And how did that feel?
6 years? No, because again.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's interesting how mono red has eclipsed standard rotations multiple times and is able to stay above. I mean, honestly, it's a story for the ages if you think about it. It's very inspirational. Maybe.
Yeah, how one deck like dominated, owned, absolutely massacred a card game. That means
throughout the entire life cycle of Standard for the past 6 years, they have constantly printed cards for mono red that have just made it the best deck in the game. So I'm not going to say like this is confirmed or anything, but it seems kind of biased, no?
Very biased. But I will say this. I will make one correction. Mono red is not always the best deck in the game. It is the most played deck in the game on Magic Arena. All the time, like almost always. It's particularly in best of one. Best of one is the thing people will point to, and some people will be like, "Well, in best of three, actually." Well, even in best of three, it's often the most played. In best of one, it's always the most played. And by the way, in best of three right now, winningest deck and most played deck. Oh yeah, it was mono red.
Mono red's still the best deck in BO3.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, at the time that this information came out at a 61% win rate and was the most played deck on the day of this ban announcement.
Don't you have like some kind of like direct line to Wizards of the Coast where you can be like, hey guys, I want to play your game, but I'm crying my eyes out.
I'm pretty sure they have somebody specifically assigned to my account to be like, oh, CGB, we like blue too. We understand. We're very sorry. And like HR responds me into the ground. They just have a CGB therapy, a blue mage therapist on call 24/7 for Magic Arena to calm me down. And then we go back out there and we give it another try because we're tough and stubborn and we get buried on turn 4. But you know what?
That's fine. You're having fun.
That's fine. I was going to, and you hijacked my video and made me talk about mono red, and now I just want to quit Magic again.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. We are here today to talk about something that is. I was going to have a video that wasn't about bans at all. Can you believe it?
No.
How many times have we done this? It was going to be about unbans. Right. You're going to try to help me decode, figure out what is unbanned for the first ever unban announcement from Wizards of the Coast since they took over the Commander format.
Okay. How many cards were unbanned, if you don't mind me asking?
5 cards have been unbanned. 5
Really?
cards.
Okay.
Yeah. And you have seen most of these cards before because we did our Commander ban list videos, which are some of the most viewed videos that we've done. So on my channel. So we can check those out. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to see the reaction to whether or not they're banned. But we're gonna drum up these beauties, and you're gonna try to figure out if they're unbanned. So I'll show them to you as we go. We'll read them because some people might be listening to this in audio format now. And you'll tell me if you think it was likely to be unbanned. And at the end, you'll try to pick the 5 that got unbanned. See if you can do it. Sound fun?
So, am I also saying like if the card's good or not? I'm assuming that goes without saying.
I mean, hell yeah, it's Commander. Let's figure out if the card is good or not.
Okay.
Today's video is brought to you by Helix Sleep. Spring is here. It's time to dust off the old mattress and give it a little spiffy upgrade. When I first felt the Helix, I was shocked at what I've been missing for all these years. And now I can't imagine going without one. I've had my Helix mattress upstairs for about a year and I absolutely love it. I literally feel guilty for sleeping on such a great mattress while they sleep on generic mattress downstairs in the guest room. That room doesn't get used often enough to justify buying a whole new mattress. Enter the Helix Mattress Topper, a new product to give you the Helix sleep experience on a non-Helix mattress. I got the premium mattress topper for the downstairs guest room. Now my friends and family can sleep comfortable and in style, and it's fully Emmy approved. Give the gift of a good night's sleep to your guest room. Get a Helix Mattress Topper today. Now is the perfect time to buy because it's the spring savings event. 20% off site-wide. Say it with me, cool kids. Spring savings event. Spring savings event. Spring savings event. I'm telling you, standing desk, baby. Once I get going, it's going. Top off your old mattress or just get a whole new Helix sleep mattress. Take the quiz. Find out what's right for you, and you can be getting a better night's sleep in just a few days. Helix Sleep delivers the new mattress right to your door. So what are you waiting for? That's helixsleep.com/CovertGoBlue. helixsleep.com/CovertGoBlue. Say it with me, Mesa Falcons. helixsleep.com/CovertGoBlue. helixsleep.com/CovertGoBlue. helixsleep.com/ Thank you to Helix for sponsoring this video. Now back to the video. Yes. Okay. Here I've got, we'll go with 10 cards here. So it's kind of 50-50. You can do that, right?
Yeah.
You can flip a coin 5 times.
To remember,
you can do this.
So all of these cards have been banned and 5 of them have got unbanned. Okay.
All of these cards, as of a week ago, were banned in Commander.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And now 5 of them are unbanned. 5 of them are still banned.
Okay.
Let's cook.
Sundering Titan. When Sundering Titan, artifact creature, 8 mana. When this enters the battlefields. When this comes into play, my apologies. Choose a land of each basic land type, then destroy those lands. When Sundering Titan leaves play, choose a land of each basic land type, then destroy those lands. Wow. And that's a 7-ton?
Yeah.
You're never paying 8 mana for that.
Never?
You're never paying 8 mana for that. There's no way.
You're probably right.
Commander. Okay, hold on. I gotta go through this. This can't be your commander. Can this go into any commander deck? Like, because it's just a neutral mana cost? Or like the commander has to have the neutral, right?
You were right the first time. This can go into any commander deck.
Okay. This card's pretty gross. Oh my god, I hate this card looking at it. There's no way they
Would you like a different art?
No, it's not the art, it's the text. Choose a land of each basic land type, then destroy those lands. Choose a land. So you just pick the land that most of your opponents on the table, the pod, have, and then you just make them cry, and then you do it again a second time and it leaves. And then you could probably just resurrect this and keep doing it so they never get to play the game. If we go back... go for it.
Oh, it's choose a singular land on the battlefield. Not choose a land type and then every player loses one. It's choose a land of that type that is on the battlefield.
No, I was thinking like... So, like, let's say you're blue, just for this instance, and, like, most of your opponents are red. You're just picking red. You destroy those lands, and then they're crying.
So the way it would work, if all your opponents only played red and you played blue, is when this enters, you would choose a mountain, one, singular, from the whole table, and you would choose one island, singular, from the whole table, including your own. It's not, like, you don't get to pick and choose. So... in the scenario you're describing, Sundering Titan would destroy one mountain and your island.
Okay. And that's how it interacts? Interesting. I thought it was going to be a lot more deadly, is how I was going to say it. Like, that'd be really, really annoying. Okay.
What's a more likely situation with a spread of colors around the table is Sundering Titan enters and you pick Jim's island and forest and Susie's plains and mountain, and nobody had a swamp but you might lose a swamp, but if anybody else has a swamp, you pick their swamp and they lose their swamp.
Okay, but that still feels like if you did that enough, it'd be really annoying. The thing about, I was going to say, like, we did those videos or the one video where you, like, had, like, the top 100 hated cards in Magic or whatever. And there was a commonality between a lot of those cards that, like, land removal or anything that has to do with my players' lands, they're going to get really upset. And I feel like this could be good. There's probably, like, better ways of manipulating lands that are also banned. But I don't think they would unban this specifically because of that reason. Like, players don't want to interact in such a way that, like, you're just destroying them and they can't play the game. So like, this is probably a good card depending on how you build it, and I think there's a way you can build it that would be just absolutely atrocious to play against. So in that way, I'm probably gonna say that it's, like, just not unbanned, and I don't think it will be ever. Like, it also seems like a pretty old card. But see, like, the thing is like, we have this with Hearthstone, where older cards are, like, sometimes they're just fine, right? Sometimes they're good, whatever. This was probably, like, good when it first came out. I mean, if you're paying 8, I don't know about that. But as more cards come out, there's a critical mass of, like, how much you could put this on the board and take it out. And it's probably only gotten worse with more cards being released. And that will forever be a problem with Magic releasing more and more cards. So, like, this will probably never be unbanned.
We will see, because now this is the fun part. I get to show you the other 9 cards, and then you have to figure out which ones, because some did get unbanned. Okay,
it's fun. That's fun.
Let's go to another 8 mana card.
I remember this one.
Yeah.
Coalition Victory, 3 neutral, 1 white, 1 blue, 1 black, 1 green, 1 red, 1 green. Sorry, I was like, what did I miss? You win the game if you control a land of each basic land type and a creature of each colored sorcery. Okay, I don't remember why this was banned. Are you allowed to explain again to me why it was banned? Because I think if I go back in time, I don't think this was actually, like, that bad. I feel like if I remember correctly, I was like, like, it's cool.
The explanation on this card was that if you play a 5-color commander, all you have to do is have out your commander, cast this, and you win the game. They thought that was too easy and anticlimactic.
Oh, okay. I can actually see why that would be kind of annoying. Okay. Well, I guess you need to get each basic land type, though. Oh, I guess because, like, your commander is the creature of each color. So, like, it just fixed that requirement, and then you just have to get the lands. And I'm guessing fetching the lands isn't the hardest part about that. Also, that makes for a non-game. Okay, I can see that. This card was probably good then. I mean, obviously, all of them are good in their own way. I don't know. Like, again, like, why would I want to unban this? What is the sole goal of Commander if we reach down and ask ourselves, what are we trying to do?
Making your friends angry, probably. Okay, making your friends very upset with you.
If that's the sole goal, this card is perfect, and it should be unbanned. But in reality, like, if we're thinking about, like, Commander's supposed to be fun, casual, and a good time for the whole pod, like, I mean, it should probably not be unbanned as well. I'm gonna have to see all of these, to be honest, to really give you, like,
yeah. All right, I know.
What's next?
You can just tell me how you're leaning, but
Unbanned.
Can you imagine hitting this card with the SpongeBob counterspell and doing the whole.
When are those come out? Oh yeah, they're already out. Oh my god, have you recorded a game with those yet? Please.
Yes, it came out last weekend.
Okay,
Yeah.
Did somebody do the counterspell and like the whole maneuver? Or
I mean, Gina, my wife, played it.
And did Gina do the?
I mean, you would have to watch and judge her performance, I suppose. I mean, I'm proud of her.
All right.
For whatever that's worth. Okay. All right. Let's see another card.
Oh my god, this thing haunts my nightmares still. Raids Cabal Minion, 2 neutral, 2 black. Okay. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, the player sacrifices an artifact, creature, or land. Okay, and it's a 2/2. Okay, I gotta think deeper here because now there's 3 cards already that I think it can't be unbanned. I mean, the first one I could see it maybe. No, the first one, no way. I can maybe see Coalition Victory getting unbanned. Okay, hold on. Is this as bad as Coalition Victory? No, it's not as bad. Yeah, I'm causing problems for my opponent, but I don't just outright win the game. Is this better for the game than Sundering Titan? Beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices an artifact, creature, or land. This one's 4 mana for that. Like, if I'm comparing it to the other 2, this one's kind of slower. I don't feel it's as...
I'm also... I'm going to say something really quick because it definitely affects this. A lot of people, if you remember the bans from last September, it was fast mana cards, Jeweled Lotus, Mana Crypt, and Dockside Extortionist that got banned. It was very controversial. A lot of people expected those to get unbanned in this announcement, and they were wrong. They were not unbanned. So those cards are still banned. So if you're looking at these and trying to think, oh, but is this going to happen on turn 1 because they brought back Jeweled Lotus? No, they did not.
So Sol Ring's still in the game, though, right? Like, that's the one.
Sol Ring is still in the game, yes.
Okay, so that's actually really interesting because then you have to start thinking about the game has slowed down. If there's not as many like innervating ramping type effects that you can just cheat out these cards super early. Like Braids on turn 1 would be disgusting. But now that doesn't really exist. You also have to get really lucky with Sol Ring. I don't know how many other cards are like Sol Ring in Commander. I'm sure there's a couple, but like it's very inconsistent now.
There's really nothing else like Sol Ring.
Okay, so
to be honest, there is nothing quite at that rate. So there is a 1-shot called Dark Ritual. That's 1 black for 3 mana, but it's an instant and you get it for 1 turn.
Could you say the average game of Commander has slowed down?
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, casual Commander is about the same because it was like turn 7, 8, 9. Wins were happening. CEDH, where these things were very popular, has slowed down. Yes.
Okay, and I'm guessing they're doing the unban specifically for casual Commander, right?
I don't think they care much about CEDH when they do this.
Okay, that's probably for the best. Okay. If Braids come... Okay, I'm going to evaluate all of these like at their specific mana cost then, other than Sundering Titan, because I feel like the whole point of it is you bring it out and then you just reanimate it over and over again. If I'm casting Braids for 4, is that really that bad anymore? Like 4 mana for a 2/2 that probably could get counterspelled if my opponent has removal. Yeah, one person's going to have to bite the bullet, but like that is what it is. I mean, that one actually looks like it could be unbanned. Comparing it to the other 2, like it's just not as egregious as the other 2 seem. This fucking art is terrifying.
Is that a good reason to keep it banned?
No, I don't think it is. I really don't think it is.
Just
okay,
checking.
if I had to pick one, I'm thinking this is the closest one to be unbanned. What's the next card? I can't wait.
I've got a spicy one here. I've totally figured out the order beforehand. Sure, let's do this one.
Okay. Ooh. See, now there's the idea that all of these could be unbanned is very interesting. All right. Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn, 15 mana. Oh my god. The art in the side, just having flashbacks. This can't be countered. When you cast this, take an extra turn after this one. Flying, protection from colored spells, and Annihilator 6. What is Annihilator again?
If you attack with Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn, the defending player must sacrifice permanents equal to the Annihilator number. In this case, 6 permanents.
Okay. When this is put into a graveyard from anywhere, its owner shuffles his or her graveyard into his or her library. 15/15. Okay.
If you would like, just if you out there, listener or viewer, if you would just really want to spend an afternoon reading the absolute unhinged rambles and scenarios, go check out the video we did where I showed Rare in this card the first time, and we talked about how hard it is to get to 15 mana. The comment section is nothing but how to get to 15 mana on like turn 4 or 5, just nonstop. Everybody's convinced that you can do this so easily.
Okay. And would you agree with that or no?
I still don't. I mean, but I've never had Emrakul the Aeon's Torn legal in my commander format until maybe now.
Okay. 15 mana is insane. That is insane. Even if you had like every ramp in the world, it would be insane to get to this point. Now, we lead to the fact that this lets you have an extra turn, which is kind of nasty. Mm-hmm. And then you also have Annihilator, which is disgusting. That is maybe the more egregious mechanic here. I guess at 15/15 is nothing to scoff at anyways. And then if this dies, you just get another one. And I guess you could also make it your commander, I guess, right?
It shuffles back in. You still have to draw it again.
Yeah.
I
but
don't
like,
know.
It's never ending, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. Which is maybe at like if it does one attack, like you're probably crying. So
if any of you out there have ever cast Emrakul the Aeon's Torn, one copy multiple times in a single tip format, tell me how how did that game go? Tell me, write me a little novel.
They're still thinking about it, bro. They're in a stasis of just euphoria if they got it multiple times. Are you insane?
Yeah, they're probably ready. They probably already have the story written. Honestly, they posted on Reddit like 5 times.
I would. If it was like that insane, like 100%. Like there's games like that in Hearthstone where like something just 1 in a million chance happens, and like that's the game you're gonna remember forever. But that's also the reason you keep on coming back to play the game, just to get that high. Okay. If I'm comparing this to like Braids, looks weaker and weaker as I'm seeing more cards. This one is disgusting if you get to play it. Again, I really still don't know how hard it is to get to 15 mana, and I'm sure again you're gonna get comments like, "Well, it's been a couple years, brother."
Light us up.
Yeah, like here, this is how you actually do it. I think that this is still annoying as fuck, though. That's the thing. They're really so. The thing is, I'm thinking 15 mana. In reality, what's probably going to happen is you mill it, and then you reanimate it or something. And then
if it goes to the graveyard from anywhere, it shuffles back in. So they did play around that.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, never mind. You can't do that. Is there a way to cheat this? Then you have to spend the 15.
Yeah, there's a few ways to sneak it onto the battlefield, but you don't get the cast trigger, so you won't get the extra turn. Yeah.
But it still
I don't know. Do you need it? Do you need the extra turn?
It can't be countered. And you can't be damaged by color spells. Like what spell in the world just says like I don't know enough about Magic to say how annoying this card is. Like that's the inevitable problem I'm gonna have here, because there's too many cards in Commander that like I'm hoping there's answers to this. But if a card like this exists and people want to play it, does that make the overall experience in Magic the Gathering worse? Probably. And it's annoying. I think like one of the problems your game has in Commander, if it's casual, is like not feeling like you have agency is probably the best way I can put it, is the most annoying thing. And like Braids kind of has that problem, but it's not to the extent of this card. This card is expensive, but it is so annoying to deal with. And it's probably winning you the game the second it's cast. So I feel like, I don't know if I would be. Okay, show me another card. You're
leaning towards still banned.
Still banned.
Okay.
I hate.
That's fine.
This is annoying.
Do you remember this?
No, I don't actually. Panoptic Mirror, 5 neutral. I actually don't. Usually I can like.
Some of it. There are some I might not have shown you. Like, yeah.
This might be one. 5 neutral artifact imprint. X and you tap this. You may remove an instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost X in your hand from the game. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may copy and imprint an instant or sorcery card and play the copy without paying its mana. Okay, so you like get rid of a card, you get to play it at the start of your upkeep every single time. Well, this isn't.
Yeah.
That is fucked up. In Commander?
Yeah, what are you imprinting under this? A card that does what?
So hold on. If this, maybe you did show me this because now I'm having some like deja vu here. If you get rid of this, does the effect still like stay around? Like, is it always going to be imprinted, or like if the artifact's not
if you remove the mirror, the imprinted card is just permanently exiled.
Okay. That means that that's not as bad. If it stayed around, this is like never being unbanned. I don't even know how this got past printing, if I'm going to be honest. I was thinking like you could just get 15 mana.
And then what?
Oh, wait, hold on. It has to be a sorcery in it. So I was like, just cast Emrakul every single turn. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's great. Okay. But it has to be this turn.
Sure.
So in reality, this card can be really bad. It really comes down to what the player wants to do with it. This is kind of a fun card, though, depending on how you want to play it. Like in Hearthstone, this would be really unique because there's a lot of cards I think you can make for really good like games. But in Hearthstone, it's a lot worse because I can't just counter this. You can counter this. You can also get rid of it. It's 5 mana. You also have to have the mana again to imprint it. So that's like a really slow card. I can see it I can see being unbanned compared to the rest of these so far. Like this has the ceiling to be really bad, but it's also just not that bad. I think it's fine. I'm gonna go with fine.
Okay. What's the fun thing I'm holding you to it. What's the fun thing
like,
you're imprinting
in Hearthstone, there are cards like Denounce Warlock, I forget what it's called, which converts all cards in all Warlock class cards in your deck to random ones that cost 1 less. So like if I'm casting that every start of turn and I just get like a random hand that costs 1 mana less, like that sounds fun. I'd be down about that. There's also like like Puzzle Box of Yogg-Saron. Like every single turn I cast 10 random spells and like that's just what the game has become now. And like that's something I could maybe get behind. If it was like, what's that one card you showed me at the people annoying one where it's like a red and it destroys all creatures or something, and I thought it wasn't that bad, and then apparently it's like the worst thing on the planet. I forget what it's called. But like
destroys all creatures. Okay. Yeah, put that under the mirror. Is that fun?
No. Then that's what I mean. The variability on how annoying and how fun this card can be really depends on the player itself. And I guess if you're giving the player the agency, they're going to lean towards making other people's lives miserable because that's what card gamers want to do generally. So I could, again, this one's like, you could see it being unbanned. And I do think it's a lot slower now, especially if you don't get that immediate jump of mana, because this is a very slow card. Like you need to have the mana, and then you also need to have the mana again to just imprint the spell you want. I don't know what spell you really want to imprint, but I don't think it's that bad. Oh, Time
Is this
Warp.
card one?
Isn't Time Warp banned? It's not banned.
Not in Commander.
Okay, so this can't be unbanned.
I mean, can it? 10 mana, infinite turns.
That's really slow.
Is that a problem?
It's like it's a problem, man. Like, okay, show me other cards. I'm gonna go with it. I'm leaning towards.
Okay. I'll show you another card.
I see that like cycle though. It's kind of what the fuck is this? Biorhythm. Mm-hmm. Why is he looking at me like that? 6 neutral, 2 green. Each player's life total becomes the number of creature he or she controls. Incredibly interesting card, to be honest with you. Oh, that is so cool. But what if you have no creatures? You just lose?
That's part of the downside, yes. 0 is a number.
God, I wish they made this card say each player's life total becomes the number of creatures he or she controls +1. Like, just so you don't just auto lose to this, because like it's such a unique idea. And like because of that reason, like this is so miserable because you just
hold on. Let's talk about that. Okay. So if you are playing Biorhythm, in green, you are going to have a bunch of creatures, right? That's the plan. And this is a sorcery. So even if everybody else has like, let's give them 5 creatures. If everybody's life total becomes 6, but it's your turn and you have creatures and you're attacking, you're probably going to win.
Yeah, but could you make the case that you're going to win anyways without this card? Like, depending on how many creatures you had, right? Like, you could just say you're going to win because like it's we. I guess in green maybe it's a problem, but I don't know. Like,
yeah, green's the creature color, green's the ramp color.
Maybe I'm blindsided by Hearthstone, and I think in Hearthstone this would be a little bit of a problem, but it is a really unique effect. I don't know. That's a really interesting one. Like, again, I have to go back and compare it. Like, is this card worse than getting time warped over and over again? Like, no, because I'd rather at least just lose the game than going through a constant cycle of suffering. Is it worse than Emrakul? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's pretty bad. If you go removal and then play this and the game's just over for like 2 people, I'd be upset. So, yeah.
Let's keep hitting it.
Okay. Sway of the Stars, 8 neutral, 2 blue. Each player shuffles his or her hand, graveyard, and permanents he or she owns into his or her library. Then draw 7 cards. Each player's life becomes 7. Each player's life total becomes 7. Each player shuffles his or her hand, graveyard, and permanents. That's not lands. Is that lands? That's lands, right?
Oh, it is lands.
Is there a way for blue to cast this cheaper, or is it always 10 mana?
There are ways to cast things for free, yeah. Or like reduced amounts. Yep, there are ways to reduce the cost in blue. And I mean, if you're in blue-green, you can just cast ramp spells. Like, but okay. Yeah.
these are all like so messed up in their own way. This one
I know
says
it's a toxic ban list.
this one. I mean, for good reason, I guess, right? This one, okay. This one basically says, "Hey, the game's starting over again, but now you have 7 life." Do people have time for that? No.
You love sub games. You love Charizard.
I do love sub games. I do love sub games. I'm thinking about the average person here. Like, okay. Did you ever play The Last of Us Part 2?
Do I play other games? No. Okay. That's why I'm so good at this.
I'm not going to spoil it in case you're watching the TV show.
I have watched playthroughs of Last of Us Part 2. I know the plot. I have not played it.
Okay. You know, in the game, I won't say any specifics here, but halfway through the game, as you're playing as Ellie, what happens is you start the game like over again, but now you're playing as Abby. There was a lot of controversy over that decision because it felt so disjointed. Like, it's a weird thing to do. I loved it. In my opinion, I think it's the one that game is so memorable in my mind. I remember so much of it because of the decisions it decided to do. Is it perfect? No, I'm not going to defend this. And like, I'm sure someone's writing a comment like, I fucking hate that game, whatever. But this is what this is kind of reminding me of. The reason it works in The Last of Us is because it gives you a new perspective of things you've already seen from a different character's lens. And I think that's why it was such a good decision to make. In a game of Magic, the only perspective you're going to get is, why the fuck did you play that card? Because now we got to do it again.
Which I think is some people's opinion of Last of Us, regardless of its upsides.
Which is fine. Again, I'm not going to sit here and say it's a perfect game, but
oh my god, that's my thumbnail. Sway the Stars. This is Last of Us 2 all over again.
I feel like they wouldn't want to unban this because of just how the casual person's going to react to this. This is just like, again, it's like the time warp thing. Like, I'd rather just the game be over than probably do it again for the average person. I think it'd be fun one time. Like that. Again, that's why we go back to Last of Us 2. You did it once to me. I was like, okay, I'll play along for the ride. This happened to me more. Like, if they did it again and I'm like, oh, I'm playing as a different character, I'd be like, are you fucking insane?
Yeah, the new there's a new Naughty Dog release like this September or like this fourth quarter, right? So yeah, we'll probably do it all over again.
We'll see. Okay.
Every character that is introduced in that game, people are going to be like, "You're not going to switch me, are you? You're not going to make me play that character, are you? Yeah, never again."
I think
oh my goodness,
I can go on a rant on that game. I think for that game it worked, but Sway of the Stars is like the more negative side of things for the average person in a game of Commander. So I can honestly see them like never unbanning this card just because of how it works. So.
Understood. What about Dish Boy? Dish Good Boy.
Okay. All right. I do remember the out of this card. Primeval Titan, 4 neutral 2 green, creature giant, trample. When this enters the battlefield or attacks, you may search your library for up to 2 lands, put them on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library to 6/6. Okay. When we saw this card the last time, the problem is how much mana you're getting for just cycling this card over and over again, which is very scary. Getting 3 mana a turn if you have one in your hand every single time you draw or whatever. That's very spooky. And then it also has trample. You can also play multiple copies of this. It's a very snowbally effect. But now it's like, I don't know if green really has maybe with black it could do some stuff.
You only get 1 in Commander, but one of the big things one of the big things of this guy is you can get any lands, and people really like that.
Tutoring specific lands. All right, hold on. This is a comparison, Andrew. Is it worse than The Last of Us? No. Is it worse than Biorhythm?
This is Sway the Stars. This is Last of Us. Okay,
is it worse than the
Mirror? I get it. We're playing a whole new character and we don't like this character. That's great. That's great.
I think this card's better than it's okay. I think the Mirror and this card are probably on the same path. I don't think inherently this one's broken, but I can see why people would think that this needs to be banned. So far, I think this card, the Mirror and Braid seem like the most likely to get unbanned, but we'll continue. This one's hard because it's like, I can see why people would be frustrated, and I can obviously see why it'd be really good from a competitive standpoint, but I don't think it's like egregious. Like it's fine as long as the person's not min-maxing to the absolute extreme, but that's what people do, right? We're card gamers, so.
Yeah, we're known for being able to keep people from doing that so that everybody has fun. That's exactly how it goes.
Fun is important. Fun is everything. Okay. How many cards is this? What are we out of here?
This I just showed you number 9. We're going into number 9.
I don't know. What is this card? Grizzlebrand, 4 neutral, 4 black.
There's no way I didn't show you Grizzlebrand before.
Maybe I have to. Again, it's been like 2 years or something, man.
Okay.
Flying, lifelink, pay 7 life, draw 7 cards, is 7/7. Okay. I don't remember if you have shown me this card, but just by looking at it, I can already tell like there's some messed up stuff you can do with this. Paying 7 life to draw 7 cards in Commander where you have more life is insane. In Hearthstone, am I paying 7 life to draw 7 cards? For 8 mana? Would I pay 8 mana to draw 7 cards? That's a great question, actually.
But you have the body that gives you life right back.
That is fair. And it's flying.
This guy is a monster. He's so good.
I just it's interesting because I have to say in the entire list here, I can see why all these cards are banned, and we've gone through reasons before, even though I may not remember. But in comparison, seeing all of them, is this really as bad as getting time warped every turn? No. I'd rather have this guy on the board than getting time warped. It's maybe worse. It's probably worse than Titan. I don't even know. Is it really that? It's better than The Last of Us. Let's be real. We don't understand the game. No one wants to do this. It's probably worse than Emrakul just because of how it interacts. It's not worse. Braids is way. I'd rather have Braids in the game than that, probably. So again, in comparison, yeah, I guess it's a really what is this thing, by the way? What the fuck? It's the most jacked humanoid. Yeah, it's what the heck? It's I
don't know. It's a badass demon.
Science
big bad demon
gone wrong with I guess some demon. Oh I don't know if this is really that bad. Like, is it really? All the Magic people were like, how the fuck does he not see this? Are you insane? Like, but I don't know. I really, am I stupid here? Like, how is this bad?
Sure. I think that a few context pieces are useful. So Grizzlebrand, once in play, and is very much a creature, so there are ways to reanimate, sneak onto battlefield. It's not an enters the battlefield trigger. It's an ongoing on the battlefield effect. So if you sneak this out or somehow get a token copy of it or something like that, it still has this ability. Paying 7 life to draw 7 cards in Commander at 40 life is an immediate draw 28 or draw 35, typically. Yeah. And most of the decks that are going to try to do this stuff with Grizzlebrand are built in such a way that they probably assemble a combo and win on the spot or in the turn rotation.
Okay, so this card is used basically just to get your whole deck and then win the game from getting the whole deck. It's not like the lifelink doesn't matter. The creature doesn't matter. It's just for pay 7 life and draw 7 cards.
Yeah, it's not really a world of fair Grizzlebrand, to be honest, where you just put this out, maybe only draw 7 and then see if you can attack sometime.
Yeah, I guess they should have played Yu-Gi-Oh, bro. They need the once per turn. Like, where is the once per turn clause?
True.
I mean, I guess it's like if this card just says draw your combo win, like, I mean, that's pretty good. Like, it's
pretty good. But it is, I will say, it's a beloved character. Anytime you see the legendaries or like the creatures, some of these creatures are pretty iconic. Grizzlebrand is one of those. So is Primeval Titan. Like, there are people who, I don't want to give away the announcement, of course, but like for a long time are like free Grizzlebrand, free Prime Time. Like, people love these cards. Are they doing
like fan service for like this card to be like released, and then Wizards of the Coast is like, let's give the people what they want?
That sounds so much like Wizards of the Coast.
Next you're gonna tell me they're gonna do something about mono red. Okay, I'm gonna go with like probably still banned. I have one more card here, then I have to.
Yep, one more, and then then you really go to work. Okay.
Oh God. Oh no. Okay. Gifts Ungiven, 3 neutral, 1 blue. Instant search your library for 4 cards with different names and reveal them. Target opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Put those chosen cards into your graveyard and the rest in your hand. Then shuffle your library. Okay. You did show me this. I don't remember exactly why the combo was broken. You're gonna have to re-explain what makes this card so broken. Obviously, drawing 4 cards for 4 is interesting. And
yeah, Gifts Ungiven in Standard was mostly about value piles and, cool mind games. But gifts in big formats, there are several ways to assemble combos that will win the game the following turn when you untap. And since this is an instant, you can wait till everybody else does their thing, maybe taps out or gets in a fight over something. Cast gifts, go get the things you need. Some go to the graveyard, some go to hand. But a good gifts pile, as they're called, is normally going to feature ways to cast the things from the graveyard anyway, because there's enough of those in an eternal format. So normally the Gifts Ungiven player assembles their gifts pile that there's no real way to get around. 2 go to hand, 2 go to graveyard. Next turn, untap, execute combo, win the game.
So this is like Grizzlebrand, but like slightly different.
It's a 1-card tutor that you use at instant speed would be the case against Gifts Ungiven.
And that is, man, see, like this is another card where it's like, yeah, I could see it being very good, but also it's like not, again, is it really that bad? Like, I guess, because people want to win the game. Man, maybe we should just ban people. Have you thought about that?
Ban Magic players from playing Magic? I think that goes against the Wizards of the Coast philosophy by a lot. I think here's what I think. Everybody who gets a little bit too salty, or everybody who's on their 3rd paragraph of typing in the comment section at this point in the video, should probably get banned for a week to go touch grass. But that's about it.
Okay, hold on. I gotta hold on. Let me grab like pain here. Hold on. I gotta like sort this shit out.
Okay, do your thing.
You got me a little messed up here. Hold on. Okay.
Do you want to just a way to see them all?
Yeah, I can go one by one. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm just trying to I gotta get my bearings in order here.
In the meantime, I'll I'll do a little exposition dump that might be relevant as you categorize things. So something that is driving decisions since this whole thing moved to Wizards of the Coast. Remember, this is the first unban announcement from Wizards of the Coast. The Commander Advisory Group and Rules Committee have had the influence over the format in the past. Okay. Rules Committee specifically made the decisions. And that was independent from Wizards of the Coast. One of the only, maybe the Pauper format is controlled by a different committee, but I think there's still a Wizards employee in charge of it. So this was very weird to have an independent group control a Wizards of the Coast format. That is no longer the case. And what they are doing at Wizards of the Coast is when they made this announcement, they also shared that the bracket system is doing very well. You remember our brackets talk?
Yes. Yeah.
So they did a lot with the Game Changers list. All of the cards that were unbanned were added to the Game Changers list, which, remember, there are two brackets where you can't play Game Changers at all, bracket 1 and bracket 2. So for really casual play and for kind of new deck or unoptimized deck play. Then in bracket 3, you can only have 3 Game Changers, meaning that the bigger the list is, the more cards are banned in that bracket. And then it's only at super high power and competitive levels where you can use any number of Game Changers. Wizards is using the bracket system to also kind of highlight where certain cards and combos should be allowed, such as Mass Land Denial is not allowed in bracket 3. A bunch of tutor effects, search your library for this and that, are not allowed in bracket 3, and neither are looping extra turns, which could come up. So with the idea that they are really leaning into the bracket system and using that to control the format more than they did in the past, it is on their mind going into their unban announcement. So that's a little extra context for you so that the fans don't roast me.
Why would they roast you? What were you doing?
You know how it is. They get really into who they want to succeed in these things, and they get really upset if I would hold information or in their mind.
That is, I do agree with you. Okay, I'm stuck on 2 of them. That's my only question here.
Yeah, you got a nice paint masterpiece drawn for me.
It's just so I can visually see it. I'm stuck between Sway of the Stars or Gifts Ungiven.
Well, for funsies, can we go down the list and say what's in and out, since I can't see your paint?
Sure. Okay. Titan, I think, is banned. I think they don't want
Sundering Titan.
Sorry, yeah, Sundering Titan. I don't think they want in the game a way to just manipulate lands like that. I feel like it's not fun. Victory, if it works with the fact that you could just have one creature solve the problem, I feel like it's too easy of a win condition, so I think it's also just banned. Braids, looking at the rest of the list, is not egregious enough for it not to be unbanned, and if I have to pick a card so far, that one is unbanned. Emrakul, I feel like, is unbanned because I just don't understand how you cheat it out consistently every single time. And I guess maybe there's a world where it's if it I don't know how you cheat it out. I'm lacking the critical information here, to be honest.
So a few cards that can do it just straight up in the 99 are Through the Breach and Sneak Attack. They're both red cards. It's 5 mana total to do the thing. Neither is legendary. They would be in the deck somewhere, along with Emrakul would be in the deck somewhere.
But there's 2 cards?
Those are the 2 that come to mind right away. There's probably a few more. Show and Tell, I guess, could cheat it out, but it wouldn't attack right away. It wouldn't have haste. Show and Tell is 3 mana, and every player gets to do the same thing, which is choose a permanent. We'll just say permanent. That's not what it says, but there's permanent in your hand and just throw it on the battlefield.
Okay, I might have to swap them over. Hold on. I gotta think this through. Okay, Mir, you were saying how they don't want infinite turns to be done in Commander, but
it's not allowed in brackets 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, but I think majority of people, there's no way they're not unbanning cards thinking about those people, because that's where most people are. There's no way they're not thinking about that.
Which people? Let's be clear.
The casual Andrews who just want to have a good time with their buds or whatever. I don't know.
That's not who we're thinking about when unbanning cards. I love it.
No, that's who we are thinking about.
Yes.
I'm talking about the guys who go to their local game store and be like, we need 2 people for a nice game of Commander. And then like that, those are the people we're thinking about. Now, the thing is about this fucking mirror is like, I just don't know if mirror's the problem and it's Time Warp. Like, is Time Warp banned on its own? Or
nope.
Fucking Wizards, piece of shit. Okay.
Time Warp's not even a game changer, but looping extra turns is not allowed in brackets 1, 2, and 3.
That means mirror, like, God, I wanted to say it's not banned, like it's unbanned, but that means it has to be banned if they're just gonna follow that. So okay, I'm pretty sure Titan's unbanned based on the rest of this list. It doesn't seem like it's nearly as bad as the rest of them.
Primeval Titan?
Yeah, Primeval Titan. I'm pretty sure it's not. Grizzle also, I just don't think it's as bad as the rest of them. Like, yeah, like you're getting a million cards, but at least the game's over. Is what I'm gonna say. Like, at least if someone's gonna just like cheat this out, at least it's over. And like, I guess you can kind of interact with it because it is like an expensive thing, and removal, like, it's a big statted minion. You just have to be able to like affect it or deal with it like the second it's played, which is like fair because I feel like a lot of cards are like that anyways. So that one I think could be unbanned. That leaves me with Biorhythm, Gifts Ungiven, Last of Us, and this fucking mirror.
I love how much you're thinking about the mirror. This is great.
Is Gifts Ungiven like really that bad? It's good. Like, that's a good card. Don't get it twisted. Good card. I'd play that at Hearthstone if it was the same mana cost. I just don't know if it's really as bad as the rest of them. Because like, you're drawing, but it's not like the game's over. It's not like some stupid thing is happening with the card per se. Like, it's just enabling, which is like the same logic I'm having with Grizzlebrand and Titan. So like, I feel like that has the case of being unbanned more than the other cards. There's no way they're unbanning The Last of Us. There's no way. Like, that card is just unfun for a lot of people, and like, people don't have the time to restart a game.
Sway the Stars, to be clear.
Sway the Stars is banned. I also think like Biorhythm is so weird too, because Biorhythm is a card that I think is also really unique and interesting. It's just, there are gonna be moments where it just causes non-games, which I guess you could say is the same thing for like a lot of these cards. But is it really as bad as like Time Warping over and over? Okay, like, would I rather have Coalition Victory or Biorhythm in the game?
Dude, put Biorhythm under the mirror. Hell, put Sway of the Stars under the mirror. No, wait, that wouldn't work.
No. Biorhythm is so interesting under the mirror, actually. Because then it's a constant battle of like keeping your minions on board. That's actually really, it's a cool card, man. I hate that we have to min-max everything, man. Like, I guarantee they're in the lab. They're like, yo, this card's so cool. Like, it's like, now everyone has to care about their creatures, and we like creatures in our card game. Right?
Yeah, we are out there ruining our own games by like exposing all these min-maxers and how successful they are. Yep.
Yeah. God. I mean, if we're like casual Andrews, are we really min-maxing here? Like, that means like, fuck it. I'm gonna unban Biorhythm. I think it's fine. I think there's a chance for it to make. Okay, so that means that I think Emrakul, Braids, Titan, Grizzlebrand, and Biorhythm are all unbanned. Which means
Emrakul, Braids, Primeval Titan, Grizzlebrand, and Biorhythm are unbanned.
Let me just double check this. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I might not keep Biorhythm there because I think Gifts is like on the same level as Grizzlebrand, and I don't think it's actually as bad. Sway's banned. There's no way it's not banned. Like, they're not unbanning that shit. There's no way. That means Mirror is banned, and then it's a toss up between Gifts Unforgiven and the in Biorhythm. Oh my god.
You're really captivated. Something about Dalsim's gaze here just got you.
It's just, I don't think, like, in my mind, if I think about how Biorhythm plays out, I think it's unique and fun. In actual physical, like an actual card game, it probably doesn't work the way I'm hoping, but like, I really just want to believe it would be fun and interesting.
He just wants to believe, guys.
It's just so cool, fun, unique. Like, it's such an interesting thought process. I almost feel like really cool design would have been each player must have a minion on board for the rest of the game. If you lose it, I know, actually that's probably worse. I'd have to think of
Oh my God.
I was thinking of like your life is dynamic based on how many minions you have on board plus 1. Something along those lines. Like if I have 6 minions on board, then my life is like 6 plus 1, so it's 7.
Sounds so bad. like what do you do when you get attacked? You have to block, but then your life goes down anyway. And if you block to save your life and they all die, you're just dead.
Yeah, I guess this is why I'm not a card designer. It's hard, man. It's on like that cusp of being like cool is basically what I'm getting to. Like, I don't know how you tweak it, but it's really unique. I really like it. Maybe you do a reverse for each creature you have on your board. It is really
We've got him. We've absolutely got him with biorhythm. He is in.
No, but like, so I've talked to you a lot about this. Like, I do like those weird ass Hearthstone challenges, like where it's like Hearthstone, but this rule applies. I think the rule of like Hearthstone, but for each minion you have, you take your health total is -10 or something along those lines. I think that's like a really unique, interesting thing that can make the game really fun to play in it, like a new perspective when it comes to Magic the Gathering. But the issue is
so you're gonna like unban it or something? Like,
no, but the more I talk about it, actually, the more I think it has to be banned. Because like it is such a stupid ass effect that just makes a game just not fun for the average player, right? So in that way, Gifts Ungiven is banned, or unbanned, sorry. Biorhythm is banned. So do you need to go through the list again, or do you have it? I don't know if you do.
I think I have it. Okay. I'm just gonna make absolutely sure as we lock it in.
Okay.
So I've got on your banned list, still on the banned list after this announcement, Coalition Victory, Sundering Titan, Sway of the Stars, Biorhythm, and Panoptic Mirror. And I have unbanned Braids, Emrakul, Primeval Titan, Grizzlebrand, and Gifts Ungiven.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's a lot of creatures. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's
what do you got?
Dude, let's get to work, shall we? This is gonna be a lot of fun. All right. I'll just go down your list. On your current banned list, Coalition Victory. So Coalition Victory is, I think, one of the standout cards of this announcement because it is now unbanned, and it had probably the most discussion about it. What they have to say is that a lot boils down to how impactful and how much of an auto include it is. In a deck with a 5-color commander, it essentially reads, you win the game if you control your commander, which is not a satisfying end to a game. And it does begin to become an auto include for many decks. Is it an appropriate card to exist? They point out it can easily be interacted with. A single removal spell in response to your 5-color commander means you spend 8 mana to do nothing. You also need to untap with your commander and 8 mana, and there are many expensive spells that do something akin to ending the game in a 5-color deck if you resolve them. So, and for those engaging in the commander brackets, there's a time frame in which they expect the I win combo to fall, and it is around 8 mana. Okay. Interesting. All right. So Coalition Victory is one of the unbanned. Let's take a banned card here. Or wait, Coalition Victory is now unbanned. Yes. The next one on your ban list is Sundering Titan. And Sundering Titan is a toxic motherfucking card.
Okay.
Is an absolute beast. And the fact that whenever it leaves the battlefield, not even when it's destroyed, not when it goes to the graveyard, when it leaves the battlefield. So this means if it's exiled, if that's, it still happens. But even more so if it's blinked. So if you use an effect that like exiles then returns it to the battlefield, you get the trigger double. So this is a ultra mega toxic card, and it has remained banned. So you were right about Sundering Titan. Yay. Feel good so far?
All right.
50-50?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
All right.
No, you think I got that one wrong, though.
Braids Cabal Minion. This card. Braids Cabal Minion. Back in Standard, people kind of figured out that you could just play decks to kill everybody's thing and then play Braids and lock everybody out of the game. The idea of locking people out of the game in Commander is highly frowned upon. But you are right that its power level is much different from all the rest of the cards I showed you. They have unbanned Braid's Cabal minion. Okay. So you got this one right.
Let's go.
And they cited that a simple piece of removal will set back the plan, which is really funny because now we have Wizards of the Coast being like, just remove it, guys. What's the problem? And now that applies to more cards on the ban list, it gets even funnier. So Braids is back, and my crew is cooking up a deck so that it can be in a Commander show soon, and we'll see if that's good content or not. This card is oppressive and a pain in the ass, and I'm kind of amazed.
Okay. Really? Okay.
Yeah, doing good. All right. Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn. I want this card. I want to play this card. I really want to know 15 mana. I want to play fair Emrakul because the comments would lead you to believe this card might as well cost 2 mana the way they talk about it. Like, oh my God, it's so easy. And I still don't know what 15 mana is like. And I don't think I'll get to because Emrakul remains banned.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, my heart. So they did. This update's really interesting. They wrote stuff about nearly every card. So wherever they wrote a pretty short paragraph, I'll read it. Whenever they wrote multiples, I'll somewhat summarize it if it's not exactly what I've already said. So what they said about Emrakul and not unbanning it is that Emrakul is a powerhouse, whether cast or cheated onto the battlefield. As a colorless card that any deck can play, it was the de facto top end in a ton of decks while legal and saw a lot more play than was fun. It saw a lot more play than was fun.
Okay.
That's a great sentence. It's possible as the bracket system grows and takes off that it may be more tolerable at bracket 3 and above, but for the moment, they've elected to leave it on the ban list and see how other changes go.
Okay.
Yeah, doors open. Doors open just a little bit. The Mirror, your favorite. What do you think? You think you got this one? You think you nailed it?
I mean, no. See, like the problem is everyone I get wrong. That means something else has to be also wrong, right?
Yeah, so it's a challenging one.
This one probably is unbanned then, based on what you're saying.
They have unbanned Panoptic Mirror. They have brought it back, which blows my mind. I'm going to read you the very first line of this article written by Gavin Verhey, Magic designer and awesome person that I really like. I personally have been a Panoptic Mirror enjoyer since it was originally printed back in Dark Steel. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, you also think this is cool. He says a value mirror is, quote, a blast.
It is fun. It's a cool card, okay? It really is. Okay. I agree.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah. So there is the thing on the combos. And this is why I talked about the brackets and the extra turns. He says the first problem is imprinting an extra turn spell. So he says it's addressed by bracketed play through the restrictions on combos and a lower overall density of extra turn effects. Regardless of the bracket system, many tables have a good idea whether they enjoy infinite combos appearing in their games and if that's something players want to do in their decks. So he's basically saying the people who would hate this are playing a different bracket where you don't play this anyway.
Okay, that's fair.
And that's an interesting approach because you can apply this to so many cards on the list and it's probably going to direct what gets unbanned in the future. So that's kind of exciting, right?
Okay, I got you for sure. I'm with them, though. I'm with them. The Mirror's cool.
The Mirror is cool. As for Biorhythm, I'm not going to tell you the result. I'm just going to read the comments. the little paragraph. Biorhythm, your baby. We discussed this card a great deal. We ultimately decided not to unban it. Okay. It can go in any green deck. It requires very little setup to cast and really disproportionately impacts the player to your right. Because they go last, I guess? Interesting. Compared to Coalition Victory, which only goes in 5-color decks and requires you to control 5 colors worth of permanents, it is a bit much. It could potentially come off the list someday, but we're leaving it for now.
I'm glad at least like it's kind of a toss-up for some of these and like thinking on it. It's interesting to hear that they're going through. Like, I'm glad it's this, like, no, we're never banning this, you fucking idiot. Why would you think we were? It's like, here's the thought. Okay, I'm glad. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, right? It actually feels good. So for Biorhythm, the thing I think would happen, again, the min-maxers are going to come for you. In decks that play green and blue, if you can imagine, just end step Cyclonic Rift, return all permanents to owner's hands, untap, cast one creature, right? Or wait, Cyclonic Rift's only opponents, so any creature on your board, cast Biorhythm, win the game is so unsatisfying. It's
yeah, I would agree with that.
It's so brutal. It's nasty.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Let's talk about The Last of Us. Sway of the Stars.
The Last of Us. Okay.
Last of Us 2 to be specific. Last of Us 1, great game, no notes. Excellent cinematic appeal.
You know what? I disagree with you. I actually do. I think The Last of Us as a story was very good. Gameplay was very lackluster. The gameplay in the second one is infinitely better than the first one.
Well, that's how I played around it. I never play Last of Us. I only watch people play Last of Us. I watch it like a movie, and that's how I do it. Yeah, exactly. Okay. That's how you play around bad gameplay, guys. All right. I'm going to read Sway of the Stars here. A 10 mana way to reset the game akin to Worldfire. So Worldfire is a card that's might have been in your Salt game. I'm trying to remember. It's 9 mana, exile everything, set everybody's life total to 1.
Okay.
That sound familiar as a card?
Maybe. I don't remember though.
Yeah. So many cards, I know. So that was a 9 mana card.
Okay.
Worldfire was previously unbanned in Commander to little fanfare or play. So nobody really played Worldfire after it got unbanned.
Sure.
Right. And it says, there are some players who enjoy this effect. It is an impactful card, talking about Sway of the Stars again, but not very powerful. There are plenty of other spells that cost 8 or more mana that have a higher impact than Sway. Our guess is this will see little play, but the people who enjoy cards like these will now be able to play another one. They unbanned Sway of the Stars.
Okay. I will say that a lot of my concept for that was like, if they're gonna unban this, why wouldn't they ban like Sherazad? But I guess this isn't as egregious.
I don't know. That's a good question. Is Sherazad coming back?
Okay. No.
Is Sherazad coming back?
You see what I'm saying? No, that was my logic for that. Okay.
I think that when you cast Sway the Stars, I agree with all of your assessment. Everybody looks at you like you're the fucking donkey. Like, you are the bolus. You are that guy. And I promise you, there are some people who will just pick up their deck and leave. Like, they'll just be like, I'm not doing that. I'm not playing Last of Us 2. I'm not playing as Abby. I'm done. And you know what? I get it.
Not playing as Abby.
But I guess they decided to put it in the format because I just don't think many people own or will play this card. I think the number of people who will do it is so small that they're right. Give the people who are psychos an opportunity to be psycho for a minute, you know?
Right.
I guess.
Okay.
All right. Primeval Titan. Prime Time. I love this card so much. Let's read what... I love this card so much. While it is beloved and nostalgic, the amount this card accelerates is massive and can really dominate the game. Those who played back when it was legal know how often a game would revolve around primetime, whether it died or not, cloning it or otherwise. I do think this is a card that could potentially return and be put on the Game Changers list, but this card can be extremely warping. And now is not the time. They did not unban Primeval Titan. My God, did I want them to.
Okay.
I'm telling you. I wanted it so bad.
I'm really glad it's like, let's have a thought about it. It's not just like, this card's bad. This card's too broken. We're not going to unban it. So I feel good about it. So far.
Grizzlebrand. This one, what a card. This one blows my mind. But let's read what they say about Grizzlebrand. Cheating out a Grizzlebrand and drawing an absurd number of cards is an incredibly powerful thing to do during a one month window where it was legal. Grizzlebrand was only legal in Commander for 1 month.
I mean, that's fair. It's too good.
Yeah. Once in play, you tend to draw 35 cards immediately, and the game often ends that turn. I could imagine a world where Grizzlebrand returns for high bracket players to enjoy, but I would say it is more likely than not Grizzlebrand permanently remains on the ban list.
Fair.
He's saying it's probably not coming back, boys.
That's fair.
Draw a card. Too many cards. It's too many cards.
Too many cards.
We can't have this.
The limit is 35.
Yep.
Okay.
Which leads us to Gifts Ungiven, which is another like shocker, and probably, to be honest, going to be the most impactful one on this list. Gifts Ungiven is unbanned. Okay. They have brought this card back in the format of Commander, and in CDH, I think people are going to play the holy hell out of Gifts Ungiven because it is like instant speed, set up, and win the game potentially. Now, you were right about Gifts Ungiven, though. It is unbanned.
Nice.
That was interesting. I really wondered like how you would reconstruct their unban announcement, and it turns out you got two right. Braids and Gifts Ungiven. How do you feel?
I don't feel that bad. Like realistically, it's like I don't understand how good some of these cards are without playing them. It's like, you know, when you review cards that are coming out and you're like, this card's going to be so good. Like I just see the potential, but then when you actually play with it, it's like, like it's not as good. It's got the reverse of that, right? Like I feel like if I got to see it in action, I would be like, okay, yeah, that's kind of stupid. So let's not unban. It's hard. It's hard.
I do wonder if the rules committee actually tries games with these cards. I don't know.
Honestly, they might, right? Like,
yeah, they could
play a couple games and just see how it feels. And like, I would imagine the people who are on the unban list are considered very good Magic the Gathering players.
I think so.
So if that's the case, then it's like often they balance the game around the highest level players, and then it trickles down towards the more like casual ranks. And even though Commander is a casual game, that gives you like a pretty good idea of like how it's going to play in the average game for them. So I'd hope that we'd test it. Like it's part of their job, right?
I would hope so. I would really hope so. In the case of Sway the Stars, do you think they just cast it like a bunch of times to see how much fun they had?
Maybe.
I don't know.
See, it's really interesting because that brings up another. I mean, with their what is it called again? Like the category system, or what you called it?
Brackets.
The bracket system. Like, I guess they're like, is the most casual player really going to play a card like this? And I guess the answer is no. And they also have like the limits, right? Which is also very important. I think the limit probably makes it so that ban cards can become unbanned if they truly feel like that's the case.
Yeah, so, and the fact that they keep making more game changers, because all these went to the game changers list. In bracket 3, you're only allowed 3 game changers. Are you really going to pick Sway the Stars as one of them with all the busted cards on that list? Like, I don't think so. So with this announcement, the game changers list went up to like 58 cards that are now in that list.
That's good.
Yeah. The more they add, the less likely you are to run into these in a situation it wouldn't be appropriate for. So if we're really just worried about little Jimmy's experience in bracket 1 and 2 getting a Sway to Stars cast on him, like if the bracket system's adopted, if people actually use it, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, that was fun.
Yeah. You ready to go play some Last of Us 2?
No, I'm watching. Are you watching the show?
I haven't watched season 2 yet. I'm scared, dude. I can't do it. I don't know if I can do it.
Why?
I know. Because I know too much. And I don't really want to go through that. So here's the problem. Here's the problem. Let me just, the way we watch TV in my household is finish work, finish all the stuff we're going to do for the day. And then we go like, settle down, get our food, our dinner, settle down in front of the TV. And we have like 2 or 3 hours that my wife and I spend together and we watch our shows. Are we going to eat dinner and watch Last of Us 2 knowing what's coming? Like, I mean, it's going to ruin our dinner. Nobody wants to ruin your dinner.
All I'm saying is, as someone who really likes the game, I was so excited to see how they were going to do it. I was very excited to see it because I
don't want to see it. I don't want to know that. Oh my God.
So the more important thing for me when it comes to this, I don't know if you still want me to record to this, by the way, but
I'm still recording it. I don't know. Maybe we'll keep it.
Neil Druckmann, or I forget his last name. He basically said like, hey, like we're making this game into a TV series, but it's not like a 1-to-1. It's going to be its own thing. which means they have decided to make changes in the TV show that were not in the game. And it's very interesting to see how they're doing this, because now that I've seen the first 2 episodes, the show almost feels like it's not going to be the exact same way as the game in terms of story. It might follow the same story beats, but for the most part, it does, like, the most part's probably going to be the same. But these small, subtle things do matter, and I won't spoil it for people who haven't seen the show yet. But I'm now more excited to see how they're going to do some of the stuff in the game. And obviously, for the moment that you're probably thinking of, it was different. They didn't just do it 1-to-1, even though what I was expecting was exactly 1-to-1, because I don't know how they're going to do the TV show without following the same storyline. And that's what's got me so excited. Obviously, if people know what I'm talking about, it was a very sad moment to watch. And I saw a lot of things on TikTok that made me literally burst out laughing, because people who did not know what was going to happen, their reaction to it was very funny, because it's like, you just don't see it coming if you have no idea. Like, you have no idea. I was enthralled for that entire episode because I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I even said to my girlfriend after the first episode, I said, it's happening next week. And I was like, I was so happy I was right, because it was fun to watch. I can't wait, dude. I literally can't wait. Good show.
Well, okay. That is the best. That has got me more excited for it than I've been this whole time. Like, for the whole year or so that I knew this was coming. The fact that it's different, and I don't just feel like I have to relive that part of the game again. I'm much more likely to watch it after talking to you.
Don't get it twisted. You will be reliving that part of the game again. It still will happen.
But I don't want it. But if it's not exact, then yeah, I
have to say it off. Okay, I have to say it without recording if you want me to say what I actually mean by this.
No. Okay, maybe. I don't want to spoil nobody. We're not going to do that. You know what? I'll go watch it. I'll go watch it, and then we can talk about it next time.
Did you like the second game? Did you like it? Did you like the story of the second game?
I liked exploring post-apocalyptic Seattle, but the story overall, I was like, yeah, it could have used some work.
What was your issue with the story? I'm just curious.
Trying to remember all of the things about it. I really had trouble staying engaged through the middle. Like, after the switch, I had a hard time staying focused.
That is something I feel like you need to play the game for it to really pull you in. I feel like watching the game does it. It's like, I don't know if you ever played the game BioShock before. You know what that is?
Yeah, I watched some BioShock, but I've never played it.
Okay, I'm going to spoil BioShock for you, and I'm going to explain why. Okay, this is why I think.
Spoiler warning, everybody, on BioShock. How old is that game?
It's like 2006. I can't remember. The main spoiler of BioShock is that the entire time, the guy that you think is helping you throughout the entire game ends up being the villain.
No.
And the dude who is the villain has basically been telling you the whole time what you should be doing in order to help the city and him, like, for the greater good of Rapture. The reason why it's so impactful in the game is because you're the one doing all of these decisions. You are listening to him the entire game in order for that moment. And like, when you finally listen to what he is saying and he's like, I'm actually the evil, I'm not gonna, like, I don't remember the exact conversation, but it's a really good moment because you as the player realize, like, holy fuck, I'm the one doing this. And I'm listening to him the whole time. He's right. If they show that to me on a TV screen or I'm watching someone play it, there is no way it's going to be as emotionally impactful as it would be if I'm the one playing it. And it's the same thing with The Last of Us, because The Last of Us, even though I'm not Ellie and I'm not making the decisions for her, what she does in the game is fucked up. It is not okay after what you're gonna watch, because that's the whole point of the game, of her becoming like, I can't say it without spoiling it, but you know what I mean. Watching it, I'm not saying the game is perfect, because people are going to think it's going to be like, I think it's the best game of all time. That's not what I'm saying. When you swap to Abby halfway through the game and you are taking back to, holy fuck, what did I do as Ellie and why did I do it? I think it hits really hard. And if you asked me what I did in a game like in 2011, like a Call of Duty campaign, I couldn't fucking tell you what that campaign was about. But you bet your ass in The Last of Us, I could tell you what happened in that game, because it struck me in such a way that no other game has ever done before. And it will not translate as well if you're someone watching it. I feel like you doing these actions and you playing as Ellie makes you realize how fucked up it is for you to do some of the stuff she does in that game. And even though it is a really weird idea of like halfway through you pull the game to a halt and you restart it, it's a bold move. It's a really bold move to pull your immersion out. But what it does in that game, and that why it is such a good decision, is it makes you realize how awful Ellie has become throughout the game. And Abby is not a perfect character either, but I think that also adds to why the game is so good. Because Abby, even though, again, I'm not saying every story beat is fantastic, whatever they're doing, but giving you the perspective of the character that we thought was the villain throughout the entire game because of what she does at the start, and showing you that she's actually not a horrible person. She's just doing what she would have done and you would have done emotionally if what happens ends up happening to you in real life. It's a really well thought out experiment. Is it the perfect game? No. But I will tell you, I will remember that game for probably the rest of my life because of how they decided to do it. That's my argument for that game. And I think watching it is not the same as playing it. You need to go through the motions yourself and experience what they're doing to you. Even though, again, you're not the one coming up with the decisions for Ellie and or Abby, but it's much more impactful for you as the player controlling that character. And in my TED Talk.
Wow, dude. Wow. No, that was really good. You might get me to play the game. That was, I'm at least going to watch it so we can talk more, but I might play the game. Thank you for watching or listening to the Covert Go podcast. Remember to use the promo code CGBPOD at checkout on CoolStuffInc.com to show that you love the show. Also, subscribe on your audio platforms like Spotify and Apple Music and iHeartRadio. Leave a review with 5 stars, of course, for yours truly to help grow the show. Thank you for watching, and as always, you're cool.